One of the largest crimes against democracy in the United States is called gerrymandering. This is a conspiracy between the two major political parties, Republicans and Democrats, to draw congressional districts in ways that guarantee the dominance of one party or the other in each district. This is why 90% of the national legislature is normally reelected when around 90% of the U.S. population believes that their government serves wealthy special interests rather than the needs of its people. The biggest problem is that the two parties draw the new district maps. The best way to destroy gerrymandering is to eliminate districts, and there is a useful, democratic way to do that: proportional representation that assigns congressional seats based on the outcome of a general election. Each party would get an amount of seats aligned with the percentage of the vote they win in the election. Because states have large differences in population, the proportional system would require that a party would have to get a certain percentage of the popular vote in the general election to get seats in the House of Representatives. Here is one suggestion. Running proportional elections in a state with a tiny population would be easy. The candidate that gets the most votes wins the election. States that have small populations, and therefore only a handful of members in the House of Representatives, should require a political party to win a large share of the vote in order to get any seats. This would protect against a small party that wins only a tiny fraction of the vote, being able to gobble up the few House seats that the whole state possesses. 20% is a reasonable threshold that is low enough for smaller parties to mobilize and gain a voice, yet large enough to keep most tiny parties from gaining an unjustifiably large voice in national politics. The percentage threshold must decrease as we examine the potential for the largest population states like California, Texas, New York, Florida, etc. These states today have so many House members that the tiniest parties should have a voice in national politics, even if they only win 2% of the vote in a general election. This would ensure that new voices rise in American politics proportional to the popular vote. To start the process, the U.S. Senate runs the U.S. Census every 10 years, 2010, 2020, etc., and determines how many members each state should be given in the House of Representatives. Voters would vote for one candidate from their own party in the primary election, usually held months before the general election, and the outcome would rank each party's vote getters. Republicans, Democrats, Greens, Libertarians, and all the other parties would vote for their own party candidates in the primary election. The candidate that wins the most primary votes would be ranked number one in their party. The candidate that wins the second most primary votes would be ranked number two in their party, and so on. The voters would then vote for parties in the general election. Each party would get its House seats proportionally assigned, and each party would appoint office holders based on its primary vote rankings. A general election would occur a few months after the primary. Voters would have party labels on their ballots, along with any independent candidates that qualified to be added to the ballot. The general election would determine how many seats each party gets in each state according to the state's population and percentage of votes each party won. The most likely result would be a House of Representatives split amongst many parties without any one party winning an absolute majority. That would require a coalition of many parties to run the House, which would itself demand negotiation, compromise, and consensus amongst lawmakers.